Next up we have Mr. Talley, Jim Talley. He has a 14-year experience with the highway design and national parks and federal lands, specializing in design visualization and 3D modeling. So let's hear what you have to say to us today, Jim.
Thank you.
Come on up and switch gears.
Sure. Good morning. My name is Jim Talley. I am a design visualization specialist and civil engineer with the Federal Highway Administration, specifically the Federal Lands Highway Program. And what we do is we work as kind of a mini DOT for other federal partners, primarily the National Park Service, Fish and Wildlife Service, and the Forest Service. So this will come into play later on because these agencies that we primarily serve are concerned not just with the roads and the engineering and the money, but also the aesthetics. So especially the Park Service, aesthetics is very important, which makes our visualization that much more important. So the project I'm going to talk about today was an environmental study that we've done within the past couple of years. And the Blue Ridge Parkway was built during the 1930s by the Civilian Conservation Corps, and it was intended to connect Shenandoah National Park, which you can kind of see in the top right in Virginia, with Great Smoky Mountains National Park in Tennessee and North Carolina. And along the way is Asheville, North Carolina. So this is Interstate 26 coming east out of Asheville, North Carolina, and the Blue Ridge Parkway crosses I-26. And so North Carolina DOT, as part of their future planning, realized that 4 lanes wouldn't be enough to handle their anticipated growth and expansion of the Asheville metropolitan area. So within the next several years, they're currently studying a project to widen this to either 6 lanes or 8 lanes. And as you can see, the existing bridge for the Parkway, which was built in 1967, you can see the location of the piers is not going to support widening to 6 or 8 lanes. So as part of this project, NCDOT contacted the Blue Ridge Parkway and said, we're looking to replace or modify that bridge. So since the Blue Ridge Parkway tends to come to us for technical expertise, they involved us in the process, and we began studying alternatives for how to get those piers out of the way of the new I-26. So as part of large federal projects are required to use the NEPA process. This came about in the 70s, and it requires us to assess environmental, social, and cultural impacts of proposed federal projects, so that the government isn't just blasting down trees and blasting out mountains without considering the consequences. So a big part of that is providing the opportunities for public review and comment. So the NEPA process is to identify the alternatives, to publish a NEPA document. We allow a certain amount of time for the public to review it, and then we'll have a public comment period, sometimes a public meeting. And then once we've assembled all the comments and the partner has made a decision, then we publish the record of decision. So in this case, the alternatives were to rehabilitate the existing bridge in place to move the piers out of the way, to construct a new concrete segmental bridge, to construct a new steel girder bridge, and then in all of the projects I've worked on, there's always a no-build option to do nothing. So the reason that I've highlighted the bullets 2 and 3 in red is because this is where design visualization becomes especially important for us. In the case of this project, we were working with North Carolina DOT It was us, Federal Highway, the National Park Service, and because Blue Ridge is a historic roadway, the state SHPO was involved, and then also the public. So as far as background, NCDOT and Federal Highway, we are engineers, planners, and environmental specialists. The National Park Service has some engineers, some planners, but a lot of cultural resource specialists and landscape architects. And then with the public, it's whoever shows up at the public meeting, interested local residents or local businesses or whomever. So in terms of background, really it's kind of a roll of the dice. You never really know who's going to show up or what their background is going to be. So as an engineer, if I'm talking to another engineer, I can show them a set of plans and we can sit down and discuss it, and we can, figure it out and kind of be on the same page. But when you're dealing with people from different backgrounds, you can't really make any assumptions. You can't assume that they're going to understand a set of plans. So I have to find the most common way, the quickest and most common way to present information to the widest group of people possible. And that tends to be visualization. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and I should hang that up at my desk as a motto because it's absolutely true. I've seen so many times I've gone to public meetings where we've taken a set of plans or even slides and we've sat the plans down and we said, okay, this is what we're going to build, and everyone scratches their heads and they say, we don't understand that. And the longer it takes in a public meeting for someone to get the point that you're trying to make, the more stress there's going to be and the more potential for frustration there's going to be. So when it comes to explaining your concept, it has to be quick and it has to be as simple as possible. So for this project, the alternatives, we modeled the 3 different alternatives, the concrete segmental bridge, the steel girder bridge, and refitting the existing bridge. So I'll run through, these were the renderings that were included in the NEPA document and at the public meeting. So this is the concrete segmental bridge. And then we did another shot from I-26. And then this is the steel girder bridge. And the same view from I-26. And then this is refitting the existing bridge. Now, the existing bridge had all of those piers, so the concept for this one was to build a large arch while keeping I-26 open and keeping the Parkway open and trying to support that existing bridge all at the same time. So this alternative was not chosen. It ended up being too complex, and construction just would have been a nightmare. So this alternative was not chosen, but we modeled it anyway. So they were also, if we built a new bridge, it gave us the opportunity to realign the Parkway to meet modern AASHTO standards, since it was constructed back in the 30s. And the Park Service also wanted to consider 2 different types of rail. So even though they're pretty similar, we modeled both of those. So the winning alternative was the concrete segmental bridge. It ended up being the most cost-effective and the easiest to build. And also, since I-26 is a gateway for the community of Asheville, the city of Asheville, it was important to the Park Service and to DOT. So this is a video. Everything that I did already was done using old methods. This was done using Lumen RT, which Jennifer already demonstrated. So whereas the old methods, excuse me, let me sit down. So whereas the old methods would have taken hours or days, now we can make changes much more simply and much quicker, and even while our partner is sitting in the room. Whereas in the past, it would take hours or days for us to generate a drive-through animation. Now you can see here, I did it in a couple of minutes.
What software do you use?
Concept Station and
Right,
WebRT,
the same one,
same,
yeah.
yeah, same software.
Is that tangible, as in measurable, the data, or is that just a pretty picture?
This is mostly just a pretty picture. In Concept Station, I think you can do some measuring, but this is just WebRT. So, but I can take this to a public meeting, and like I said, our partners are concerned with the aesthetics. So they're very interested in walls, how the walls look. They don't just want to see a wall, they want to see the exact stone type we're going to use. So with this, I can go in and I can show them different views of it, and then if they want to see a rendering of something different, I don't have to go all the way back to the office, re-render it, and take it to the next meeting. I can do it for them right there. I can produce an animation right there. I can do everything right there in front of them. And this is portable, so I can take it with me to the meeting on my laptop and make changes right there. So let me just get this slide. So there's a website for the project, and I'll leave this up for a minute or so, and that's my information if you have additional questions for me.